were the top court on strongly criticizing the Enforcement Directorate, rapping the ED on its knuckles, stating that it is crossing all limits and violating the federal structure of governance. We're talking about the ED raids on the Tamil Nadu TASMAC HQ. The remarks came whilst the apex court stayed the ED's money laundering probe against Tamil Nadu State Marketing Corporation TASMAC, the state-run liquor retailer in Tamil Nadu. And whilst hearing the notice to the Central Probe Agency on pleas filed by the Tamil Nadu government and the TASMAC, a bench comprising Chief Justice of India, B.R. Gavai, and Justice Augustine George Massey told Additional Solicitor General S.V. Raju, appearing for the Anti-Money Laundering Probe Agency, that your Enforcement Directorate is crossing all the limits, is what the bench opined. The bench observed that Enforcement Directorate's probe against the state-run TASMAC will not proceed. In the meantime, the Government Council objected to the court's order, arguing that the case involves corruption amounting to over 1,000 crore rupees, and also asserted that the Enforcement Directorate is not overstepping its bounds, at least in this particular case. That's the latest that we're tracking for you in this case, as the top court, the apex court, has rapped on the knuckles of the ED vis-a-vis the ED raids at the TASMAC HQ in Tamil Nadu.
Absolutely, that is what they are doing. It is farcical. This FIR in the TASMAC is pathetic. Any legal person will not agree to that. They are aggregating 50 FIRs because Enforcement Directorate gets jurisdiction only if the value is above 40 lakhs or so. So what are they doing? They are aggregating 50 FIRs, 30 from the ADMK government, 20 from the DMK government, and they're combining everything and say, oh, we have got jurisdiction. Is this your duty? Why are you stooping so low? Don't you not have guiding principles on how to go about it? Just because your political bosses say so, will you go against the political opposition? It has to be condemned, and every opposition party has condemned it. Now the Supreme Court has belled the cat. We'll see how the Enforcement Directorate acts further. And see, everybody is fearing the Enforcement Directorate only because of its bail provision. But the Supreme Court has come again and again now said you cannot put them inside the jail just because you are being charged with the money laundering offense.
All right, joining us here on the broadcast, my colleagues, Mohammad Wajiullah, who's been tracking this case very closely, and Brijesh Pandey, News9 input editor. Vaji, let me quickly come to you, help the viewers understand the case, lay the semantics of the case on the table, because just 4 weeks back, the Madras High Court had upheld, this particular investigation by the Enforcement Directorate, which was back then seen as a big setback for the DMK, which in itself had filed about 40 plus FIRs against, the probe on TASMAC, and of course, its own corruption interrogations on various TASMAC outlets as well. That was a big setback for the DMK, but now it seems like a big relief. What are the semantics of the case first?
Well, yes, after the Madras High Court given the permission to the ED to do all these things, that is when the government had approached the Supreme Court. And in this hearing today, it looks like it's a win-win situation for the DMK government, because time and again the government has been saying that the center is interfering in all the activities of the state. We had seen this in the case of the governor also, where they had gone to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court had reprimanded on this. And now again with the TASMAC case, when there is already an FIR registered in the state, when the state police is also investigating, the agencies are investigating, then the court questioned the ED, asking them, why are you interfering? What is it that you're doing when the state is already investigation? And that again turns out as a victory for the state against the ED, because time and again they had maintained this that the ED is working on the behest of the BJP, and it is only doing it to put some pressure on the government before the Tamil Nadu election, which is due next year. And that is why these raids are happening time and again, and that is why the central agencies are interfering. And we had seen similar cases in the other states also, in Karnataka. A recent case also where the institution of the Home Minister was also being questioned. The state government has again said that the ED is a political tool. So these narratives were something that was time and again said by the state government, and they had also approached the Supreme Court. Kapil Sibal was their lawyer, and he presented the case of the government in the court, and the court had lashed out on the ED today, and this is a big win for the state government here.